Alright, I can finally summon for Ling. I had to go like 6 or 7 times to PT, and I waited for championship to go for him because I was out of EXP.
Following the rules would just hold me back.
Pretty cool animation. But unfortunately, he's not that good for PvP, and in PvE, he's only really good for like Forbiter because of his AP control. All of his skills do AP control, but the other two bosses is really not that good. Maybe there's some teams in the future that can run him in Sonica or Dark Starlord, but for now, he's pretty bad in those two bosses. I had to hit pity once again. Okay, nice. Ooh, okay. His R1 is going to give me 30% additional stats because I have Ling at R6, the original Ling. So in total, if I do get him to R1, that's gonna give me how much? I think it's 45% basic stats. That's massive. He would be better if all of this is AP up, in my opinion, because then he would work for other bosses as well. But since it's AP absorbed for all 3 of his skills, it's not gonna work for like 90% of the contents. I don't think I'm going to skill him up, but for now I'm just going to try to run him in Forbiter for this team 2 right here. Alright, let's see how well he does in this team. I removed Elaine from the team and I'm running him on the relief set with Brawler. So I'm basically hoping that the boss doesn't one-shot me because I don't have any disease debuff. I don't have a sleep unit in this team. I've made my supports beefier. My Sachiko, I gave her HP and speed. And my Sakura is HP and speed as well with Grove set. Let's see how well it does. My team with Elaine scores roughly 12 to 14 million. Ooh, that's pretty bad. 38 million. Okay, not bad. 13 million, 13.7 million. That's pretty good. Alright, not bad. 14, 15 million. One more and then I'm gonna try to swap out Chuyao for someone else. Another 13 million. So far, not too bad. Let's try to swap out Chuyao and add in Elaine. Because again, if you have sleep debuff, it's gonna add a lot of damage to your units. 8, 10 million, 10 point. That's 11 million, 12, around 13 million. It's about the same so far. 10, 12, again about the same as well. Okay, this one is a lot lower. Alright, now I'm running Haley in the team with the Calamity set and counter just to give it to Ggez and also my Ling. And I've put my Chuyao in team 1 so Sloan can follow up a little bit more. 11 million so far, it is not better. 12, 13, roughly 13 million. It's not really better than my previous team. Alright, 136 million. And this team is just about the same. So I don't think it's better to run Haley in this team. I'm just gonna go back to the Chuyao team. Let me just show you like 2 runs with this team, with Elaine in the team, and it scores roughly the same with Metal Ling. Again, if you don't have his resonance, is pretty bad. There's not really that much places that you can really use him. There we go, 149 million, and as you can see, 15 million with this team right here. Because I'm missing a lot of AP controls from Metal Ling, but I'm also getting these sleep buff, right? Sleep debuff from Elaine. So that's adding a lot of damage to my Ggez. That's another 14 million right there. One more with this team, and then I'm gonna go back to Ling. Maybe try him out with the Astral set, see what happens. There we go, 16 million. Already scoring more than with the Metal Ling. Alright, I've given him Astral this time around and also a little bit more speed. But he has very low attack though, okay? 12 million. So far the Elaine team is still better. I'm scoring 15 to 16 million, whereas running Metal Ling, I'm only scoring roughly 11 to 12 million, which is pretty bad, especially with R6 Sakura in the team. 135 million, and yeah, Elaine is just better unless you have Ling at maybe R1. At R4 he's definitely better for this team because then your Ggez would be spamming her S3, but at R0 or R1 he's not really that good. To be completely honest, you're better off running Elaine in this team for the sleep so that your Ggez will do more damage, because in Forbiter you do more damage with the sleep debuff. I think it's like 50% more damage, and Elaine has a 2-turn sleep on 2 of her skills, right? And a 1-turn sleep on her S1. Forbita is pretty much not gonna get a turn, especially with Sachiko in the team. Alright, let me just show you what happens when you don't run a disease or sleep debuff in Forbita. Whenever Forbita casts his S3, he's gonna be gaining a specific buff. Sweet Nightmare, damage taken is reduced, damage dealt ignores defense. So against certain teams, this is just going to completely one-shot your DPS units, and then your run is gonna be dead. That's the reason why you kind of want to run a disease or a sleep unit, because if he gains this Sleep Nightmare, you're not only doing less damage, he one-shots you, and not only that, missing a sleep debuff means you are also missing out on another damage amplification debuff. Because if you read right here, if affected by sleep, Forbita takes more damage, and this more damage is, if I'm not mistaken, is around 50% more damage. So any damage that you do is going to be multiplied by 1.5 times. So that's the reason why you kind of want to run Elaine in the team still, even though she's not really doing that much damage. She helps with reducing the Forbita's damage and also increasing your other DPS's damage. But the thing with this team is, the reason why it still kind of works is because of R6 Sakura. If you don't have an R6 Sakura, this team is not going to work, because you're just going to get one-shotted. There's just no two ways about it. Your DPS is just going to get one-shotted, and the run is just going to end. So as you can see, my Daji is only doing about 400,000 with this with her S3. Whereas if I were to run Elaine, she would do like 800,000, something like that. Because the sleep debuff adds me 50% more damage, and the boss also doesn't have this golden rim buff, which reduces my damage even further. I don't know how much it reduces. I haven't checked yet, but it's pretty significant. I mean, his damage is not that bad, 240,000 with his S2, which also AP absorbs. But once again, if you're going for his Divinate and also for his Abilimons, that's only gonna add a few more millions to your score. Maybe at maximum 3, maybe 5 million maximum, if you do max him out at D6 and max skilled up. Unless you have him at R4, then maybe it can add a little bit more than 5 million. I think there's some players who run R4 Ling that can score like 30 million with this team. That's very good, but once again, it's only at R4. If you don't have his R4, he's kind of underwhelming. Yeah, with R6 Sakura in the team providing defense buff and also defense stats, every time my allies get hit, take a turn, or whatever they do, they are going to get stats from that. And that's the reason why I'm still able to survive the Forbita's attack. Otherwise, I'm just gonna get one-shotted. So yeah, with this team, there's a lot of AP controls. That's why it still can score pretty well. I have Daji linked with Chu Yao. I can't really make Chu Yao link with Li Ling because his attack is just way too low right now. I would need Divinate, I would need Resonance on Li Ling just to make him higher attack than my Daji, which is, at that point, it's not worth it anymore, because I would have to lower my Daji like way too much. Then she wouldn't do any damage at that point. But yeah, I have Chu Yao linked with Daji, which is not that bad because Daji also AP controls with her S1 as well if the enemy has the debuff. Alright, we managed to survive all the way to the end. But yeah, with this team only scoring about 11 to sometimes, very rarely though, reaching 15 million, I'm not really gonna invest in Meta Liling that much, because once again, if I invest in him to D3 max skilled up, it's at most gonna add his DPS by 3 to 5 million, which in my opinion is not enough at this point, especially with the power creep that we have incoming. I'm pretty sure the next few espers are gonna be absolutely game breaking. You're better off just saving your resources for the next few espers. Meta Yunshuan I think is gonna be OP. The other units that was teased in the Celestial Anomaly Season 2 banner, I think one of those, or even like 2 to 3 of those, are gonna be absolutely broken. And then right after Celestial Anomaly, I think they're gonna release a R6 unit. The safest play is just to keep your resources, unless once again you have an R4 Liling. Anything below R4, I don't think it's worth it. But yeah, that's about it. Ciao.